Well, hello, and welcome back to another episode of Three Crones in the Woo Woo. I am your Dragon Slayer Crone and Word Witch Extraordinaire, Gayle Nicholson, with Creative Command Coaching and Consulting. And by my side, I have Miss Krista Ducharme with Dimensional Healing with Krista. And our traveling Crystal Crone is traveling again. Where is she this week, Don Pardo?
Thankfully, I'm still in the continental United States, and I am just further south from Massachusetts. I am in Fairfax, Virginia. So yes, so hello everybody. Hello Fairfax, and everyone else. It's been quite an exciting week, or so far. You know, we arrived Saturday, so. And we'll be here through Friday. We're here to help our daughter Genevieve. We were coming initially to help her move in to a place that actually fell through. It went pear-shaped in a hurry, 48 hours before they were supposed to move in. It just was crazy. And I'm so glad that it ended up doing that, because if you ever had a gut instinct that it's like, you know what, this just is not going right, like from the beginning of a business transaction.
Yeah.
Have you ever had that, Gayle? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And have you ever had that maybe with, like, you're gonna rent from someone and it's like it's not going something at first, it's like, oh, everything seems to be going well. And then things start to show up as flags, whether they're pink flags or red flags.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That kind of was my thing from the get-go with that particular place. So when it went pear-shaped, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm glad it's gone pear-shaped now. I know that the kids were not, and I say kids, we're all talking 20, we're talking 21, 22-year-olds. I'm glad it went pear-shaped, because this person, that landlord would have been a nightmare. So, yeah.
No, it happens in a lot of different areas. Now, it may be too early to actually be certain about this, but did that red flag pathway to pear shape gain you access to an area of realm that would not have appeared had you not gone through that part yet?
Actually, I really think it did, because it has opened up. It opened up actually. So I kept saying, to the universe, this or better, this or better, this or better. I mean, I kept trying to get my daughter to wrap her head around, you need to ask universe for something this or better. And every time I keep saying this or better, especially now that it all went pear-shaped, better keeps showing up, and I keep saying this or better, this or better. And the better so far, it has been price range in terms of rental. Anybody, okay, I know we have a couple of folks on watching, but anybody who has ever tried to find housing in this area, the Fairfax County of Virginia, which is Northern Virginia, just outside of Washington, D.C., will say, oh, this is tough. It's a tough place to find housing. And in terms of rentals, it's just as tough. And the prices are just crazy pants, just absolutely crazy pants. And so what we found, those numbers
were meant to see before is crazy. Yeah.
So the deal that went pear-shaped was $4,000 a month. So now we're actually looking at places that are better, newer, in better condition, within walking distance of the university, that are in the $3,200 and $3,100 and $3,200 price range.
so much better. I mean, still incredibly, like off the charts for student housing. I mean, not student housing, but you know what I mean? For student housing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But at least reasonable for a group,
Yeah, even there, but even like the university, and I'm not going to necessarily call them out, but even their housing is a little bit on the higher end. I mean, and we aren't talking higher end housing. We're just talking price wise, but I'm sure that it has to stay competitive for the actual, like the cost of electricity and water and everything else, because, that, and when it comes to student housing, that's all included. So yeah, this has been an eye-opening journey. I think not just for the kids, but I think it's been an education for Kevin and I as well. And so we're really happy that we're in that position, because we're on sabbatical right now. So we can, when you're in that position, you kind of, it frees up your time to be able to be like, you know what, let's go and be supportive and help out, and let's see if we can get new eyes on the situation.
Yeah.
And so that's been our thing. Plus we had to come down, and Genevieve had to go get her new license, her new retired military ID, because she's still under the umbrella of care for right now until she graduates college. And so that's been that has been a, that was part of the journey of coming down here, because in order for her to get her medical care, our medical care is all tied up with our military ID cards.
Right. So those have to be up to date and current.
Absolutely. Yes, they do. So yeah, yesterday we did that after she got off work. We went, and actually oddly enough, Kevin had to go back today. That's where he is right now, because the guy who gave her ID failed to give her back her driver's license.
Oh,
so her driver's license is sitting on his desk.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it's been a full thing, I'll tell you. But on an upside, we were already able to see a friend and have breakfast with a friend this morning, which was so awesome to see Tamra. Kevin was stationed with her like eons ago. I mean, Genevieve was 3 when they were stationed together, and now she's 21. So we're, and it's like she's had, been married, has gotten married, has kids. So it was really cool. I mean, we've been in contact since then, but haven't seen one another since 2005. So
wow.
Yeah. So that was fabulous. And we have a few other people we're going to catch up with, and which is exciting. That this isn't a trip that's all about seeing a lot of people, because we're trying to, focus on helping Jen, but we're able to slip seeing folks in between.
That's lovely. I mean, that's one of the true freedoms, right? Is time freedom, to be able to go and do what you want to do, and you've got the time to enjoy it. You're not, got to get back by this time, or, and that can be anything from, I don't want to be AWOL, to the dog's going to pee.
Yes, it can be. It really can be. So yeah, it is. It's really exciting.
That's awesome. That is really awesome. Well, I want to say welcome to everybody who's watching us today. It's going to be an interesting show, because we've got the full moon coming up in 3 days.
Yeah.
We've got a bunch of stuff that's happening right around that time that I want to talk a little bit about. Again, as a student, not as a professional astrologer or anybody who knows anything in reality about the study of astrology, but as somebody who's been a hobbyist, if you will. and these archetypes that show up because of that. So, as far as what's been going up here in Vermont, it's been really, really interesting. And I've been getting some interesting messages from my guides. This past weekend, at least 2 or 3 situations popped up in different ways of me losing money or leaving money on the table, or I'm spending my time making this choice and it was the wrong choice to make.
Yeah.
Not that any choice that we ever really make is wrong, and that you can always choose again and clean up whatever disaster might have occurred, but it was just being reflected back to me that I was choosing incorrectly, right? Like my senses weren't right on the money like they normally are. Yeah. So I, coming at you from a number of different directions like that, for me, I start paying attention. Okay, what's the common theme here? Because after 2 or 3 knocks on the door, I'm expecting the 2x4, right? And I don't want the 2x4. So let's take a look, right? And that's what it came down to, was that I was losing money by choosing this over that, for whatever reason, and we have to actually, and I had to take a look deeper. What am I refusing to do? What am I choosing not to do? And the interesting thing about all of that for me was that I was choosing not to do the things that didn't look like it was going to make me money right this minute. Which is mentality. I've got to do this stuff over here that actually puts money in my hand first, and that's a flipped priority. You got to do what you love, and the money will come, right? No matter which avenue it comes through, if you're not doing what you love, then you're cock blocking yourself.
Exactly.
So we're doing a little bit more exploring in that area right now, but it was a very interesting lesson coming for me on Father's Day. Right? And for those of you who realize, my past, so to have that realization, that insight showing itself to me, is that I've made certain choices in my life for survival's sake instead of creativity's sake. And in many cases based on my relationship with my father and how that relationship blocks a lot of my abundance. And it's right. All of this is just fallen into place very interestingly, So I just wanted to share that with you because, it was very interesting to me to have all of that show up the way that it did. And I'm not quite sure yet which direction I'm going forward. I'm not, and this is a difficult place for me to be, in the space between making it happen and receiving manifestation. You get the difference? There's the difference between force and attraction.
Yes, there really is, because you have to be in alignment for attraction.
Yes. Yeah. So at this point, I feel like I'm recognizing where I'm out of alignment. I'm not sure that I actually have any tasks yet to do at this point. And I'm trying to stay out of no, I've got to get this right now, and allow the things to unfold. Because I'll be honest with you, with what is coming up and what I was researching today about this full moon, that's where it's all going to be revealed. So I want to share with all of you a little bit more about what the sun, the moon, and the other planets will be doing, and what we want to do with that for our full moon work coming up in 3 days, on Thursday, I think it is. All right.
Okay. Yep.
So here we go. Okay, so right now the sun is in Cancer and the moon is in Scorpio. Okay. And that's today's energy. All right. And today's energy has a lot to it as well. But on Thursday, the sun is going to be hitting the solstice, right? It's going to go full. We'll call it the strawberry moon, because June is the month when the strawberries are most plentiful, of harvesting the strawberries. It doesn't turn the moon red. Don't believe the pictures that you may see from AI on the internet. It's not a fucking pink moon.
No,
anyway.
That was last month.
Yeah.
Or actually, that was the month before that. That's the pink moon. But that's a different story. Okay, continue on.
All right. So the moon will be going into Capricorn, and the sun will have gone into Cancer, right? That's our June, July birthdays, right? So we got the sun in Cancer, the moon in Capricorn, and also on the same day that the solstice is happening and the sun is going into Cancer, Venus and Mercury is also going into Cancer, okay? So we've got the sun, our identity, the Venus, our capacity for love, and Mercury, our capacity for communication, all going into Cancer, which is a water sign, which is very sensitive and very emotional. Okay. Mm-hmm. So we're going to be talking about love, and we're going to be immersed in that as our identity. And boom, moon is going to go into Capricorn when it's full. And that's the hardest working sign in the zodiac, is the Capricorns. They keep their head down. They may be a little bit cynical about life, a little prone to look at the negative, and that type of thing, but they're hard workers, right? And they're persistent, and they keep doing what it takes until the job is done. Okay. So throw all those balls up in the air and see what you get. We're going to be talking about love as an identity, and we're going to be willing to put in the work to make this love that we say that we want. Okay. Now watch, because Saturn and Neptune also are going retrograde in Pisces at the same time. So that means there's this illusion buster going on, right? The only way that you can create a healthy relationship, right, that all of these portents are pointing to, is to say what's so. There's no glossing over. There's no putting icing on a mud pie. You've got to stop being rose-colored glasses, ignoring red flags. Call what is so, right? Objectively, not as an attachment, like you don't love me this way, kind of, you know what I'm trying to say? But just what's happening, right? We're not spending enough time together to help me feel seen as I need to be, right? And it's not a blame situation. It's a acknowledgement of what's so, all right? It's also a reality check, this retro in Pisces for Saturn and Neptune. There's going to be, the rules and the dreams, and it's going against the god of the underworld, the hidden. Okay. So we're going to be bringing up all of these hidden dreams, and we're going to find out if they match the test, right? Whether or not they're going to be verifiable, justifiable, valuable going forward. All right. The most important thing to do as you're assessing all of that is to focus on your mental well-being and follow your gut. All right. Doesn't matter the words that have been said. The vibe check is what's going to carry the day, right? And you will do best if you can declare, this is not working for me. Love you, bye. All right. Or this is not working for me. What else is possible? What's possible that could shift, that would have our love become everything that it could be, right? Everything that we both want it to be. Now is the time for you to take that look, whether it's romantic love, whether it's the love of your creativity, the hobbies, the work that you do, all of that, something that inspires you and brings out love in you, in whatever realm that is, to take your inventory. What works, what does not work. Be brutally honest about it with yourself. And remember, brutal honesty without compassion is just brutality, right?
Yes, exactly.
And take stock, right? And then when it comes time to do the full moon work on Thursday, okay, let me get this little sign up here for you because I want to give you a chance to screenshot if you like, right? On the summer solstice, the sun will enter Cancer Thursday, June 20th at 4:50 p.m. And it will be joined by Venus and Mercury on the same day. And then the strawberry moon goes full in Capricorn on Friday, June 21st at 9:10 p.m. Okay, so you've got about 29 hours to do your full moon work in that window between the summer solstice and when the moon goes full in Capricorn.
Yeah.
And that is your window for doing the work that will release the things that are cock blocking you in life in the areas where your love is expressed the most. All right.
Yeah.
You're Googling at my terminology.
No, because people don't. No, I think that's the best way of doing it. We do cock block ourselves. And you know what? It is not gender specific, folks. We get in our own way. Sometimes, how often, okay, to put it into other words and great perspective, how often do you stop yourself from doing something because, oh, well, I have to wash my hair, or, dishes need to get done, or, oh, I'm just not good enough. Who really wants to hear from me? I don't really. And doesn't everyone do that?
Yeah.
See where I'm going? Those, believe it or not, yeah. Good description. Those are cock blocking yourselves, folks. Oh, by the way, I'm just as guilty.
Yes.
I don't want y'all to think that I'm sitting here going like, oh yeah, I've never done that. Yeah. I am amazing. I'm always on.
You're awesome.
I wish that was the case. But no, I mean, I think now that I'm 53, my give a shit meter is like, whatever. It's a great description. And my mother and sister are watching, so this is really cool. So you missed meeting Zachary, our oldest son. He arrived after you had left, right? For the the retirement ceremony. And he comes and he has this container and it's full of fucks, right? And literally, he's like, and so he was like, here, I have a fuck to give. And I just kind of, if anybody has ever read the book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, it literally is the opposite of what a lot of people think it is. They think it's like not caring, but it's learning how to, it's talking about how to care about the right things. And when you reach, and that's actually an art. Honestly, it is an art to understand what really needs your attention and what really doesn't need your attention. And we can joke about it and laugh about it. And, it's like, oh, wait, I think I've given my last fuck out. And literally, it's this little hand-carved wooden thing. And it's what's even funnier is I keep finding them sprinkled throughout the house.
There's like everywhere.
Yeah, I think the container kind of had an explosion, or people left them throughout the house, which was fine. And it's kind of amusing.
Zachary Rabbit did his own little egg hunt there.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny because I find that I'll see them and it makes me laugh because I might be stuck in my head because how often, again, one of those things. Yes, I do that too. I get stuck in my head. And so I'll see it and I'll bust out laughing because am I thinking about something that really needs that energy? Or am I thinking about something that it's like it just has become part of my reel to reel tape?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And that's dating me reel to reel. Yeah.
It really is. Because it was kind of before your time too. Those are old things for us when we were little.
Yeah, my dad had this amazing stereo system that did include a reel to reel. So I did grow up with reel to reel in my house.
I'm by marriage on this one. All right. Because my stepdad's father had the entire converted recreation room with the full bar in his basement and a little behind the bar that housed the reel-to-reel, his entire reel-to-reel jazz collection.
Wow.
And the control area for the hidden speakers that were in the walls all around the rec room basement. And oh my gosh, they were upper middle class in the 60s. They had the, like stereo, Wi-Fi, hi-fi stereo. That's what it was. Hi-fi. That's what it was.
Hi-fi. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So no, it is.
Yeah. Oh, Tracy's telling on him now.
Yeah, he does. He still has it. And it's kind of funny because Kevin was joking around because we have a finished basement on our side. And so he's like, maybe I'll just go ahead and I'll set up your dad's, system, and then he can come down and enjoy his system, right, in our finished basement. And who knows what's going to end up happening. But yeah, so in any case, we all have those tape players playing in our head. Whether it's an 8-track, a reel-to-reel, a cassette, one of those Walkman cassettes, you pick your definition of that tape because we all have it playing in our head. And sometimes you have to ask yourself, do you need to give a shit about it? Does it really need to take up your energy?
Right.
And that's what that's what you're kind of explaining about, get out of that. We need to get out of it. We need to let go of it. It needs to become about us. And when it comes to love
that's got a bigger path.
Yeah, because you want to make sure that you're putting your energy where it is going to thrive for you. You don't need to put your energy where it's going to burn it up.
Yeah.
And what I mean by burn it up, I mean like expend your energy and you get nothing back. Yeah. It's kind of like pick the people you choose to be around.
I'm not even sure if I should say anything about this because it's kind of fresh, but it's an example of exactly what you were just saying. I got into a bit of a verbal spar with somebody earlier this week. And it was very interesting because in a lot of cases, sometimes because I have this affinity for useless trivia, I know a lot of things. And when people mention certain things, I'll pop off with, random facts that are usually science-based and correct and things that nobody should know in America because they didn't teach you that in school. So if you didn't freaking have a hunger to find out about like the origin of things and stuff like that, who would know? Nobody would fucking know it. So I look like this egghead know-it-all. All right. In a lot of cases. All right. And I accept that about me. It's fun for me. So fuck you if you don't like it. I have no fucks left.
Okay. There you go.
Right. And this person was debating with me or arguing with me, actually, not debating. That's not the proper word, but arguing with me about something that I had done in a particular order. And I stood firm for, no, this was the correct order to do this in.
Yeah.
And would not let her bully me into, okay, whatever you say, I'll change everything just because I don't want to fight with you. And when she recognized that what I was telling her was in fact, she got pissy about it and started out loud, blah, blah, you're just a know-it-all anyway. And the first thing that came to my mouth, and at least I knew enough not to fucking say it out loud, was, maybe not, but at least I know not to walk around complaining all the fucking time and then wondering why I'm in pain.
Exactly. Sometimes silence is far more powerful.
And the worst part about it, though, was the look, because while I'm like thinking it and trying not to say it, I'm like looking up at her like,
Yep.
you know, oh, she was not happy at me that day. Again,
it's
all my fucks.
Again,
Krista's got all my fucks.
Exactly.
Everybody's fucks. She's got them all.
That's it. That's it. You know, it's so funny. Yeah, because he got it in Lancaster. Well, no, it wasn't Lancaster. Where was he? He was in Pennsylvania where he got it. But I'm like, gosh, I really kind of, it's like if I stumble upon that container, see, you drink and you know things. And that's what you do.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's okay because I drink and I know things.
Lannister is my spirit animal. What?
That's right. Tyrion Lannister. I'm like, yes. I don't want to say he's my spirit animal, but yeah, I feel a kinship. He's part of my monad. He's part of my spirit family.
Right. He's giving Tyrion vibes.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, that's what there's another one for the shop.
Yeah.
Sitting back on a settee with a book and a glass of wine, and just underneath says Tyrion vibes.
There you go. I like that. I do. I like that one. I'll have to see. Yeah, we'll have to play with that one.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right, little miss. Let's start off into the rock world today.
So today, this week is blue kyanite. And I have to say, it definitely aligns with last week's. Well, again, I feel a story coming, right? Yeah, I feel, you feel a story coming when you start paying attention to the stones and kind of in the vibes that they're giving you. You can continue to work with them, right? And it's been for so long, so much of what we have been, the stones have been about communication and have been about self-awareness and have been about compassion and love and really, to support the inside work. Blue kyanite is, I don't want to say it's no different because it shows up. However, this isn't just about, it isn't about communicating with your own truth. Now you have to start listening to not just what you're saying and what you're hearing, but really hearing and really listening, because one of the things that blue kyanite helps with is anxiety. And I feel my sense is that we get all caught up in our anxieties. Some people are really good at masking their anxiety, or there are some people that don't even recognize their anxiety because they live in it. So they're in that constant state of living in it. So think of anxiety as being the future. If you're somebody who's constantly focused on the future, that's when anxiety starts to show up for you. And there's a lot of things because it's the beginning of summer. We're coming into the wonderful energy of summer solstice. It's not even coming. We're in that energy now.
Yes.
We're coming in. We'll be entering by this evening the energy, or by tomorrow, the energy of the full moon. You know, the pre-full moon energy. And so there's all this yumminess of potential. There's all this yumminess of this great celebration and release, because remember, full moon is about celebration because it's complete when it's full, but yet, you know, it's also that release and let go. It's giving you that permission to do that as well. So it's a really cool energetic time. But one of the things what happens with people is they get so fixated, especially, you know, students or even parents. How many of you guys are in the midst of, oh my gosh, it's the beginning of summer, and now you might be lucky and you have all these camps lined up, but also it's like, okay, so in between the camps, I need to make sure that I'm entertaining my kids and I'm doing this, or I need to make sure we're doing that, or I need to make sure it's a whole summer of fun. I have to keep the kids interactive. I have to keep them entertained, right? As awesome and as fun as it was to think about summer when my kids were younger, I would start getting anxious because in my mind, it's like I knew I needed to keep structure. I knew I needed to keep them engaged, but it was also exhausting. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? So I was reading an interesting article about this, and it's about parents who schedule and plan their like family vacations or their kids' summer times like to the nth degree,
right?
And the anxiety that they suffer from, because of course, what happens? Has everybody or anybody watched National Lampoon's Vacations and Clark Griswold? And he puts all this pressure on himself and on his family for these perfect vacations that, of course, you know, go to hell in a handbasket.
Yeah.
Because his expectations are just not being met.
Mm-hmm.
That's what anxiety does. That's what anxiety, you know, brings up. And the reason why I bring this up in conjunction with communication is we let our expectations sometimes, and hey, by the way, guilty as charged, we can let our expectations kind of take over rather than communicating, A, what our expectations are, B, asking what other people's expectations are. My daughter is really good about this. You know, she's an August baby, and our daughters have the same birthday. So you'll have to share if this is true. So Genevieve is really good at, okay, so this is how I want my birthday month to go. And I'm expecting this, and this, and this. But she'll share it, but there's no wiggle room in her expectation, even though she's because it's more like an order, not a, oh, what do you think about having this? Or what do you think? And when it came to her birthday celebrations and everything. And so it ended up nothing would ever meet the bar because her expectations were just so monumental that I could have started planning, years in advance, and the bar would never be met because it's like, Genevieve, it's your 15th birthday, honey. We don't need to, hire the latest band or this or that. It's like, you're 15. No. So,
now, what year was Genevieve born?
2002.
Okay, so that's got to be the difference because that's 9 years off from my Katie.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. So is Katie wasn't like these grandiose expectations?
No, in fact, kind of on the other side, and maybe because there's a difference growing up in an upper crust military home, if you will, and
Yeah.
the neighborhood we grew up in, or she grew up in, right?
Yeah.
So she's just like, can I have friends over? Can we do this? Can we do that? And then she was very, very grateful for whatever showed up. But at the same time, she wants to make sure that all of her friends have a great time, and she's putting all the pressure on herself from a different angle. It wasn't, like asking for over the top and then disappointed because that wasn't feasible. It was more like everything's got to look a perfect way, and I'm a piece of crap if it doesn't.
Yes, so and so that was another layer to all of this. Yeah. And so for her, it was very interesting. I mean, some of her when she part of the challenge is she went to an all-girls private school, and we lived in Australia. And some of those kids, their parents had more money than they did common sense. And it was like, are you kidding me? What are you going to do when there's something really monumental to celebrate? Because you're just like, all the stops now. And so I was just like, yeah, no. Yeah, it was an interesting dynamic. But yet Genevieve does have a tendency to make sure, I want to make sure everyone else is comfortable. I want to make sure everything else is going. So that adds in. And so the reason why Kyanite is really good at helping with this, because think of how it grows. It grows in sheets, if you will. So there's striations in tubes. It's really thin tubes. And isn't that beautiful? I love it. And so it can help with the communication because it helps you align what it is that you're saying, what it is you're trying to do. So it can calm everything down. It balances everything back out. And with this full moon that we're having, and of course it's solstice and all this greatness, this is a great stone because it's going to calm everything down. If you have kids who are just starting their summer breaks, it will calm you down to have those to have those conversations and to be able to work with it. Highly recommend not just to use it for this week. Get yourself a piece. And either it's not unusual for me to carry a piece of it in my bra. Yes, I do. I love to carry kyanite in my bra. I have to tell you, Sue at Class Act Imports, right? My mom, she had some amazing blue kyanite. And as a matter of fact, there's a piece. It's at my house, but it can be sold because it's actually hers. I borrowed it and I just haven't brought it back yet. But it's an amazing, amazing, amazing piece because it's so highly polished, and then it's faceted. And so it's a gorgeous piece of kyanite. But it's really also good for your dreams. If you're wanting to work with your dreams, or if you're wanting to dream at night and understand, people who like to do dream interpretation find that this stone is really helpful to put under your pillow. Now, the piece that Gayle showed, that gorgeous piece, no, you don't put that under your pillow, but you can put it beside your pillow or beside your bed.
This will flake.
Because it does flake. I have a piece that's flatter, and it is flat, and it's lightly polished, so I can put it like in my pillowcase. By the way, if you do put stones under your pillow, put them in your pillowcase so then they don't end up falling off the bed at night, unless you're a very still sleeper. I'm not.
And if you've ever stepped on a Lego, just wait till you step on a piece of kyanite.
Oh yeah.
Or
your vocabulary.
Mexican fluorite, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Argonite, yeah. There's a lot of them that'll send you to the stratosphere. You step on them.
Yes. So yeah, no, give it a go, and stuff. But yeah, think of it that way. Think of it as opening up. Now let's go to the number of the day. And the number of the day is perfect for today. It's a number 5. And so for me, 5 is about adventure. 5 is about change. If you think about it right now, it is all about change and shift. Kids getting out of school. We're getting ready to change from spring into summer according to the natural calendar. And, so it's really a wonderful time to embrace that and to look for those changes, look for those shifts. Those changes and shifts and opportunity, mean opportunity, mean adventure, mean, possibilities, all kinds of things. So it's a great time to work with that. And it's a great time to actually be working with it in conjunction with communicating it. Mm-hmm. So it's a wonderful time. Do you have any thoughts to add to the blue kyanite or the number 5?
Well, just honestly, I love blue kyanite. I've got a couple of short wands that are polished, and they're absolutely gorgeous. They almost look like Gemini apatite. They're polished so nicely.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Dark color. But I work with the shards of it as well, the plates of it. And I just absolutely love it. It has a way that I'm going to play this little video again, because look at all the different angles that these come in at, right? Mm-hmm. And it's overall is to bring all those angles together in harmony, right? Harmonizing the communication, right?
It is perfect.
I love that about it, because there's so many stones, as we have seen recently, that are blue in nature, that really support the communication, especially over these last 3 weeks we've had that. But this is the one that brings all of these different perspectives and points of view into something workable, right? And I love how, of course, the woo shows up as always. So let's do this. Balancing these energies, harmonizing the heart, mind, and the spirit. This stone is perfect for that, right? And what we were talking about with the galactic guidance and the sun going into Cancer, the moon and Mercury joining it there the same day. 2 days later, the full moon going, or the moon going full in Capricorn. And in addition to that, the Saturn and Neptune retrograde in Pisces, while Virgo is in conjunct with Pluto as well. So we've got our work cut out for us, but we also have the tools set forth to make it happen. All right. And keep in mind that number 5, like Krista said, it's all about change. So if you're actually up for some real change in the areas of your life that you love the most, one of the things that you can meditate upon with this blue kyanite in your hand is revealing what true expectations are in the relationship between you and whatever it is that you're talking about. Now, I'm talking about relationships of love. I'm not necessarily talking about human beings being in love with each other. I'm talking about you and how you love the written word, or how much you love the way the piano sounds, or your creative hobbies, or your application of who you are in life as a business, right? In those areas where you're choosing or doing different things from different points of view that have been instilled into you and may even look like your own, but they're really not, right? You can you can pull those apart. You can see where the expectations truly are. You can see what's the objective truth about the situation, not just what we use to blame each other in order to avoid responsibility. Okay. So this is a wonderful time to put all of this together to do your full moon work, right? Because we're going to be looking at what's keepable, what's not working for us, what's, word of the day, cock blocking us, right? What all of those things are that we are putting in our way, and figuring out, what are the dreams for having what it is that we say we want. That Saturn and Neptune's dreams, Saturn's rules. What are the rules that we need to follow to fulfill upon our dreams? Because this retrograde in the water sign Pisces, this retrograde in this teary emotionality is not fucking working. You don't have to want it so bad. You have to be willing to take action. Does that make sense? This is not about our passion. This is not about the true definition of the word passion, which is suffering, right? The passion of the Christ was how he suffered on the cross. Not that he loved it so much, right? So, little World Witch special for you there.
Thanks for that reminder. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I don't think I'm not going to sign up to, figure out how much I don't like that. It just doesn't sound appealing.
No.
Yeah.
Right. So, this next 2.5, 3 days, you've got the time to work through the process of what's the objective truth about what I love. Am I, looking for a CEO of a Fortune 500 company to wine and dine me, but only end up, like hanging out at the park in the bad end of town? I don't think you're going to meet them there. Hey, you gotta align what it is that you're saying and you're doing with the results that you intend to make, right? If you want to make $10,000 a month on social media to give you the time and location freedom to go wherever you want to go and do whatever you want to do with whoever you want to do it with, then you want to sit down and at least post one fucking thing each day, right?
Exactly.
It
won't happen because you're thinking about it.
You can't do, like I have done probably 10 out of the last 14 days, and have the work that you need to be doing up on your computer screen and look at it with bitterness and hostility every time you fucking walk by. All right, that's not going to get you to $10,000 a month. And I'm just saying this because I need to hear it. Who else needs to hear it?
Exactly, because if you can't admit it to yourself, how can you preach it, right?
Right, exactly. So now is the time. Figure out what's the truth, right? Use the blue kyanite, meditate with it, ask it, reveal my true expectations. Now, some of those expectations, right, may come up like this. Well, I expect if I put it out there, my friends are going to cringe when they see me, and then they're going to laugh at me and maybe even say some embarrassing shit at me, or worse, say embarrassing shit to other people about me behind my back. Or what are your expectations? Because none of us sit here expecting that, we're going to, post for the 5th time and get a fucking Oscar. Okay. What are your expectations? What are you expecting is going to show up? And what are you hiding from showing up?
Yeah.
What rules that you need to follow to allow your dreams to come true, right? And then
or what rules do you need to break in order to allow yourself to follow? Because sometimes that's the big part, because we're not willing to let go of other people's imposed thoughts and rules and regulations in order to say, oh, but I need to do this instead.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and this reality shows itself in all kinds of different areas, right? Like, I know a person who constantly, is like bitching about her life. Like she wants an award for having the worst life ever. Okay.
Oh, I can
if she
print
were
that up.
Yes, on a t-shirt.
Like, what the hell, right? I'm like, seriously, is that the award?
Certificate of Achievement, worst life ever.
There you go. Here you go.
Copywriting that. All right, trademarking that. Like she wants a reward for it. But if she stopped talking like that and started saying things that would be like highlighting things to be grateful for, which would help things to be grateful grow more prevalent in her life, right?
Mm-hmm.
What would end up happening immediately around her would be all the fucking other crabs in her bucket pulling her back down, right?
Yep.
And that's painful to get up and out of, those pinchers fucking hurt,
It can.
mentally, emotionally, those pinches fucking hurt. And,
they hurt. And then, but eventually you either say, you know what, that hurts more than not being in that bucket.
Exactly.
And so, because it's only getting out of that bucket.
Yeah. After you're out, they can't reach you anymore.
No, because they're
you may miss them. Send them a fucking Christmas card. Thanks for your contribution to my life. See you around.
Yep.
Absolutely. All right. So it's okay for you to let go of who you have been to make space for who you said you choose to be. You have permission now. All right.
Thank you.
Yes. Now, if you need any more permission, here you go. Today is a day for planting a seed. The Ace of Pentacles. That which will allow everything amazing in your life to grow, like materially, abundance, money, the source of life, that kind of stuff. Here's the affirmation that goes with. Today's affirmation is, I plant seeds of prosperity, vitality, and sanctuary.
Oh, I love that.
Isn't that beautiful?
That is.
Yeah. Never forget to give yourself your own safe space. It's not incumbent upon anyone else to provide that safe space for you. We can ask for it. We can hope for it. We truly have no right to expect it. So bring your own.
Exactly. Yep.
Awesome. All right. Any other further comments?
No, I think that we've probably worn out our welcome today.
I certainly hope not. Well, thank you all who have taken the time out of your day to spend a little bit of it with us. Thank you very much for being here. We appreciate those of you who show up each and every week, time after time after time, as much as we show up, or we appreciate those of you who show up for, an hour once a month. We love you. We hope that we are being of service to you, and we hope that you have a fantastic week ahead. We'll see you soon. Bye.